Today's video is a little different, and it's a bit of a throwback to what this channel was originally about. We've got a single mom who wants her new man to cover all the bills, but when they finally move in together, things don't go as expected. But that's enough from me. Let's get into the mess.
Am I the asshole for wanting to leave my boyfriend because of how much money he makes? I've been with my boyfriend for almost a year. He treats me very nice, has always been super kind. He's emotionally supportive and can communicate pretty well and has taken on the role of stepdad, father figure for my kids.
From the get-go, it doesn't sound like this guy's getting off to a good start in this relationship. While I could be wrong about this, it sounds like her main objective with this guy was to find a provider for herself and her kids. But actually, let's not jump the gun just yet. We're only 17 seconds in.
When we first started dating, I expressed to him that I don't really believe in going 50-50. Not that it can't work for other people, but I've been a single mom for 3.5 years before we started dating, so I'm used to doing everything myself anyways. Some may not even agree with the way of my thinking, and sometimes I even question if I'm wrong or not too. To me, going 50-50 with the man I'm living with just doesn't sit right with me. It could partially be due to the fact that my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad has worked the same job since he was 18. They have been married for 35 years and are still enjoying being together. Or it may stem from the fact that I would love to be a stay-at-home mom, and I do have some more traditional values.
Well, maybe I was onto something if she's expecting this guy to come in and pay all the bills for her and her children. I know we haven't really got into the meat of the story, but as of right now, I can't see what benefit he's getting from this relationship. If she's been a single mom all this time and handling her business, why can't she continue contributing to whatever it is she wants to build with this new guy? And honestly, I think this whole thing is a little more bothersome because this guy is going to be taking on full responsibility for children that aren't his. When she mentioned the thing about her dad working the same job since he was 18 was a little silly to me because the job market has changed a lot since then. It's pretty rare for people to stay in a single job for that long, so she shouldn't really be judging and comparing this guy's ability to provide to what her dad was able to do back in his day. Times have changed.
I want to feel so secure with a man that I'm able to submit to him and provide a loving, safe space and home for my kids and husband. I've been in survival mode for a long time and I've always depended on myself to make things happen, and I'm tired of that. I want to be able to relax and know that if I lost my job tomorrow or I got sick, that everything would still be taken care of. I do not mind working and I still have my own career. I just think I would be able to be a better girlfriend/wife if I had financial security. When I initially had this conversation with him, we weren't living together. He agreed that he would love to be able to provide support for us, and he doesn't want me to have to pay 50-50 of anything.
I get that she wants this new guy in her life to do all this stuff, but what is he getting in return? We still haven't got to that. When a guy steps into a pre-made family and takes on the provider role, it's a massive investment, and it doesn't seem like people take that sort of thing into consideration. It's all about what they can get out of the situation. At least that's how it seems to me. I'm a bit confused about her still working though, because she was just saying that she wanted this guy to cover all the bills. Or am I misunderstanding something? In any case, the guy did say that he'd come in and pay for everything, which is quite a big promise, so I wonder what went wrong. For him to say he's going to cover everything 100% is quite the commitment, but given the title of this story, he bit off more than he could chew. Was he just telling her things she wanted to hear with no real plan or idea as to how he'd follow it up? Let's see.
Fast forward a couple of weeks and his lease ended, so we decided him moving in with me would be the best thing until my lease is up, and we can find a new place together. I should have been more proactive in bringing up our previous conversation again about bills, but I wasn't. It's been about 5 months since he has moved in with me, and it's safe to say our agreement has not been kept. He went through a couple of job changes when he first moved in, and he fell behind on some of his personal bills. My rent is $2,000 a month, plus a $400 car note, $200 car insurance, utilities, groceries, gas, plus 2 kids who are in sports and extracurriculars. He hasn't paid half of anything since being here.
You should never be making agreements with people if you don't intend to or have the ability to deliver whatever it is you promised. To me, it sounds like this guy wasn't ready to be a provider, so maybe he was looking for someone to take care of him. As a guy, I'd be embarrassed beyond words if I was in this man's shoes. I'd feel like a complete failure, and honestly, if I wasn't financially stable, getting into a relationship of consequence would be the last thing on my mind.
This will be the first month, tomorrow the 1st, where he is supposed to be giving me half of the rent and half of the utilities/groceries. I have a feeling that he is not going to be able to give it to me. I try not to be materialistic, and I know it's weird for me to expect a guy to cover my rent in this economy. I understand not everyone was dealt the easy hand of money or career. I know it's strange to expect something of someone that I couldn't even do myself. I know life is hard and it's easy to fall behind on things. I guess I'm just wondering if this makes me an asshole or if I have valid points.
So, it seems like she's gone from wanting him to cover 100% of the bills to a 50-50 thing. But honestly, what choice did she have? What she really wanted was a man who could provide for her and the kids. And from the looks of it, this guy's falling well short of that. Since we already know that she wants to leave this guy, this whole thing does showcase what a lot of people talk about online, which is that long-term, most women don't want to be financially responsible for a man.
He's good in almost every other aspect than finances. I see videos a lot talking about women being with men who they couldn't call in an emergency, or if their car broke down, or if you need help on a bill. This makes me wonder if I would be a much better wife to someone who could provide that security to me.
This is funny, because it goes to show that when women talk about how they want a guy who's loyal, caring, considerate, and all that, none of it means anything if a man's not able to provide. From how she's talking, she's already fantasizing about a man who can step into that provider role, which tells me that her resentment for her boyfriend has started to build. A woman's sense of security in a relationship counts for a lot, even though it always seems to be the last thing they mention when asked about what type of man they want.
I know it's hard to find genuine people who really care, who won't cheat, and who will be a good father figure. I know that love is what life is all about, and money isn't everything, but not having the security is holding me back. Any advice is appreciated. Edited to say before getting together, I had plans to move in with my grandma so I can save and buy a house next year. He knew about these plans. My living expenses are making it impossible to save, so in the last 5 to 6 months, I've spent over $20,000 in living expenses that I thought was going to be paid 50-50. I'm talking about living expenses only. Also, I know many people will have opinions, but my kid's father passed away, so telling me I can't be a traditional wife because I'm a single mom is unhelpful. Which, why would you say that?
Right.
So even though she's a single mom, it's not because she was having kids with just about any and anybody, which does change the way I see her. It makes me wonder if her late husband or partner was the kind of man who provided everything for her and the kids. Because if that's the case, I think it would be tough for her to be with someone who can't provide that level of security. Whether you're a man or a woman, when you get together with someone, you're supposed to make each other's lives better, which doesn't seem to be what's happening here. In any case, if this isn't what she wants for her life, she should cut her losses now rather than drag this shit out for another year.
Edited again to say that this is not about me wanting him to pay for 100% of my lifestyle while I stay at home. No, this is about him not being able to stick to our agreement of 50-50 for living expenses. Not anything for my kids, no flashy cars, private school, or fancy dinners. I'm upset because in the 6 months he's been living with us, he hasn't upheld his end of the agreement. I know expecting someone to do 100% for me and 2 kids isn't realistic. I'm only expecting 50-50. Even if I wasn't originally fond of it, I was willing to do it, and if he had been keeping that deal the last 6 months, I wouldn't be here.
6 months is a long time, so I wonder what he's been doing. I'm curious though, didn't she vet this guy's ability to contribute financially? Now, there is a little more to the story, but it's not really worth going into. But she does go on to say that he was paying $1,800 in rent when he was living alone, so he has the ability to get a job and contribute, but it seems like he's just dragging his feet. This dude sounds like the type of man who wants to live off a woman, which isn't something I can respect. In any case, I thought the comments on this story would be juicy, so I went through a few of them, and this is what the people were saying. I understand her expectations, but she has kids. Those are her bills and her expenses. It will never be 50-50. The thing is, I'm not really one for dating single moms, but this guy willingly put himself into this situation and made an agreement with her. So a man should be true to his word and stick by the shit he says. This next comment is actually from the original thread on Reddit, and I've left the link in the comments if you guys want to check it out. I was going to absolutely slam you, but then you mentioned your ex passed away, and it wasn't one of those typical Reddit situations where the woman chooses to have kids with a bum and then expects a new man to play dad. One of the biggest reasons relationships fail is money. So in the future, you need to have a frank discussion about finances before moving in together. How much does everyone make? What are their savings? What debts are there? Do they have a job or a career? You need to let your lease end and then tell this guy you're moving in with your grandma and there is no room for him right now. Otherwise, you're dooming yourself to a lifetime of being constantly cash-strapped and poor. And as far as your dream of being a stay-at-home mom, I don't think that's realistic. Unless you're drop-dead gorgeous, finding a rich man to willingly support you and 2 kids will be very difficult, so perhaps put those dreams out of your mind for now. I won't lie, I included this last comment because it was exactly what I was thinking about this whole situation. But what about you guys? What do you make of her story? Let me know down below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.